Test,
Nope,
test.
I still don't hear.
Should be
There
coming
we
through
go.
now.
There it is. There
Yep,
it is.
it is. Awesome.
All right, so Bacon, tell us all about you. Now, if you would like to give the abridged version, go ahead.
Yes, so Bacon is a clan battlehammer. Grew up in Dwarven Valley. He is he had a terrible disease when he was younger and quickly approaching the age where he could join the defensive guard that atrophied his muscles, and so he never quite after that never found that was the only way he was going to find a fit in, because he also never quite fit in with the structure and order of the clan. His parents he was always accepted and loved by his parents, but he never felt like he fit in with the rest of the clan, and so he ended up leaving. He had made a friend at one point with a Goliath and traveled and found that Goliath, and who they took him in, and that was actually Howler's father. And then at one point he saved Howler from a mode of energy that gave him sorcerer's powers. And so he has been just kind of living with the Goliaths, trying to figure out who he is and how he fits in the world, since he doesn't exactly fit the normal stereotype of the dwarf, at least as far as he has been taught what they are.
All right, so do you consider yourself part of Patrick's family, as in you're 23 years older than him?
Mm-hmm. He does. He looks at Howler.
He's my short brother.
Yeah, short older brother. But I definitely look at him as both a brother and also kind of a ward. That even though he's much bigger and stronger than me, I feel responsible to look out for him.
Not stronger. Still not stronger.
Okay.
Does the family welcome you as one? So you could come in, open the door, and say, "Hey, Mom, what's for dinner?" in your door, and totally.
Yep, absolutely.
Does that mean I learned how to speak Dwarven as a younger kid too?
Oh, I would never have spoken Dwarven.
Oh, darn it! I was trying to add to my,
All right, so welcome, Bacon Battlehammer. We might as well move over to Howler, since he's been introduced
Howler?
to Bacon Battlehammer. Howler
Yes.
the Goliath.
I am Howler, a Goliath, a cleric. My background is pretty basic. I was a what's the name now? A dawn caller for my tribe, which is one of them that would stay up at night to be the lookout for any attacks in this ferocious area of the world. And during one of my posts, I fell asleep on the job, which is not very welcomed in the tribe. So I was put through the Volktha process, which is basically a shunning of my character by the tribe. No matter where I went, I was still okay to be there, but nobody would talk to me, nobody would interact with me. If I wanted to get supplies, let's say I had to go buy food, I would have to get the items, put them on the counter of the store, and then put the money down, turn around, walk away, and if I came back and the money was gone, I was allowed to take the items, kind of thing. So nobody would even interact with me. But because of that, it basically puts a character or a person from a tribe like that into self-banishment. So I decided to leave the Mountain Goliaths with my friend and cohort who decided to come with me, and I have been traveling around learning and trying to find the right path, which is now going towards whatever that religious thing is, the AM one, But yeah, I am also, look-wise, I am a bald albino Goliath. So I have light white skin with some grayish, pinkish tattoos that come through, and pink eyes. So I'm kind of an oddball. I try to keep my hood up and my head down, but I'm also learning my way through. And we are currently in the 10 towns right now. That's my character.
Does your character have any interest to want to be accepted by his Goliath clan? Or has he accepted he's being shunned and there's nothing he can do about it?
The only way that I was told by my parents that I would be allowed back, because again they were sad to see this happen to me, but follow the rules of the tribe, that I would have to prove myself in a bigger way of protecting them or coming back to the city at some point to redeem myself in the elders' eyes in a way that proved that I would be worthy of being let back into the tribe.
How long have you two been... I know Bacon has been away from his dwarven world for quite a while now. How long have you two been away from the mountains of the Goliaths?
I would say this is probably pretty recent, so in the last year to two.
Okay, and do you still... I know your father visited the towns. Does your father still visit and you see him? Or is it you're just waiting till everything fixes itself to get back?
Our travels have taken us around to a lot of different areas, so I don't know if we've been in the 10 towns too much in the last year and a half that we've gone.
I just know that he's visited Rin Shandar before.
Yep.
And does he do that often enough where you'd be able to meet up with him for a cup of ale or whatever? Or that you guys don't even plan that?
We don't plan, because again, we're not. I'm not. He still follows the tribe's laws. If he sees me, he will shun me. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
But at this current point, I would say no. I have not seen him yet, and I don't know what I'd do if I did.
Gotcha. All right. Well, now we have a howler and we have a bacon. Let's introduce you guys to Finnick.
Oh, Finnick. I'm the only one here.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
I will be playing Finnick. I am a half-elf. I was washed ashore back when I was a young lad, and over the last 10 years, I've grown up and with a family of fishermen. I do fish a lot, but like some young chaps, I really am eager to get out of the nest, so to speak, and actually do something else besides just fish every day. I love fishing. I eat fish every day. That's my main meal. But I really want to move on. And I'm a bit of a... I rely on a couple of the gods. I have a few deity choices of heart, which you'll hear me talk about from time to time. And I will express my whatever. And if somebody doesn't have a religious belief, I will tell them the good words. Other than that, I have a friend of mine who just happens to show up once in a while, and tends to land in a sea of water from time to time, and always complains about the cold. And that would be that guy. Wait,
through the DM. Through the DM, but above me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like,
yep. There you go.
So, well, Finnick, thank you. And so we're going to go over now to Corwin.
Yeah.
And Corwin, how is first of all, who are you? And you are connected to Finnick in an extremely not normal way.
Yes. So
spell your name.
Corwin Greydark, an Eladrin elf. Originally from Waterdeep, who 5 years ago found that he started blinking in and out of existence. And approximately 4 years ago or so, he started, when he would blink back, he found that he started blinking in the vicinity of Finnick. He's not quite sure why, and it's happened probably a dozen times or so by the time we get going here. So he's been trying to figure out, he's a wizard by trade, and he's trying to investigate and study while he exists on the mortal plane, what's going on with him. He doesn't know whether it's a curse, whether it's some sort of experiment gone wrong, or the act of the gods, or what. All he knows is he keeps on blinking in and out, and time has gone past since he blinked out. And as of late, he's been spending more time with Finn, and he's not quite sure what to make of that. He originally thought maybe there was connection via bloodlines or something, and that didn't turn out. So yeah, he's an inquisitive sort of fellow. His blinks can last anywhere from a few minutes to a couple hours to the longest it's been 5 days straight, in which he thought he was cured, and then nope, blinked right back out. And the blinks can last anywhere from a couple weeks to a year. I think the year was probably the longest in which he was gone.
A year. Is your blinking by choice, or is it totally random?
His blinking is not by choice. It is totally random. So it has helped in times to get out of danger, and at other times it has been at the most inopportune of moments.
So technically,
about to kiss a
you're
girl
not from around here.
No, he is not, and he's not quite sure either how he ended up blinking into Icewind Dale.
Just, I want to know, what was it like the first time? Because you went from, I'm guessing, warm to 30 below.
Yes, so
and hopefully you weren't showering.
The first time he was wandering the market of in Waterdeep, and then it was nice, warm, sunny. And the next time he blinked out of existence. Next time he blinks back, he is surrounded by icy water, swimming for his life, and he sees a boat, and he pulls himself in, and there is Finnick. And that was the first time.
So I do want to ask Finnick one question then. So what was it like talking to this person and then them just disappearing again? Well, and how do you tell everybody that this person appeared and disappeared, or was that kept to yourself?
It happened, it was kept to myself, because the first time it happened, he jumped in, and I pulled him on in or whatever. We got him pulled into the boat and everything else. We got him kind of warmed up, and he was in the middle of telling me what he was doing, and I was trying to explain to where he was, and he was just gone. And I'll be honest.
Did the blanket go with him, or did it just
gone?
So whatever well, if you ever want to send anything away, you can at least have him hold on to it when he blinks out.
Or if you need him to get anything from Waterdeep, he just has to keep it in his backpack for
there you go.
A year. He could shop. It's not Amazon.
He's just gotta hold on to it.
Exactly.
Definitely not guaranteed one-day delivery, Amazon.
The real question is, and I don't know if you guys know this, but the funny thing is how long it took him to get cold weather clothing and have it with him at all times.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
It was piecemeal.
I guess it was lessons learned. Hopefully, the second time.
The second time,
third,
yeah,
fourth, fifth.
Exactly. It took a while to get an idea of what was going on. This was the first time that he'd ever shown up in the same place 2 times in a row. So that was odd to happen in the first place.
And how are you explaining this to home?
How was Finnick explaining it to home?
No, how was Corwin explaining him being gone for 5 days, a week, a year, and then coming back?
Corwin doesn't quite understand that he's gone for that amount of time.
Okay, so there is some time displacement. He just goes.
Yeah.
So you're that guy.
Yeah, exactly. He's not quite sure what is going on. He might when he pops back, he might be trying to finish the conversation that he popped away from and not realize that it's been.
I think I fixed the audio.
Did you guys take notes?
And when he pops back in, the real question is does he pop in the exact same place, or is it a random place?
Well, of recently, it's been within the nearby vicinity of Finnick. So it's...
No. When he pops back.
When you go home.
When you go home.
Is it where you had just left? like you just continue on, or is it always your room, or is it
Well,
all
so I'm still kind of figuring out those details of whether or not he actually is teleporting or whether he is
glitching?
glitching.
Gotcha.
Exactly, like going out of existence and then coming back.
Okay, that
That would
works. All
explain
right.
the time lapse a little more.
Yeah.
All right. So these are our four adventurers, and we actually have a fifth who will be joining us next week. We will get him caught up with you all at that point. But I want to give a little bit of background to if some of you who don't know Icewind Dale. One, it's cold. It's really
It's
cold.
it's just brisk.
For you, it's brisk. For the Goliath, it's brisk. For the dwarf, it's brisk. For Corwin, it's cold. Um, it's also dark. They haven't had an actual light, a sun appear, so it's in a continuous darkness. And everybody, unfortunately, will have disadvantage of seeing unless they have some
So,
form of vision that's going to help them.
is there anything like Northern Lights then that might light it up once in a while?
Nope.
Well, this place sucks. Why are we here?
Uh, talk to your parents. That's all I got to say.
Why do you think I left? Oh, just haven't made it far enough
Yeah.
south.
How long has that been going on?
That's been going on for years right now. That actually moved in when I will get you that story. That happened on oh my god. Powerful magic prevents the next day's arrival, and this has been going on for you're making me read it. Perpetual dark. I have no idea. 712 days. I don't have the exact time. It's just the fact is the towns in this area have gotten so used to it that it is a very hard life for them. In fact, some of the cities are barely holding on because the only warmth they have is whale blubber, wood, or anything else that they can burn. And unfortunately, they're going away. There isn't a lot of trees. Our fishermen aren't pulling in. It's very dangerous to hunt whales in the sea of moving ice, and so they go for a very high profit. And some people like to go ahead. Yes, Finnick.
I was gonna say, and lumber is one of our highest imports. We import a lot of lumber,
Mm-hmm.
but we export fish.
And they keep all the whale blubber
And Scrimshaw.
and scrimshaw. Um, so as I was saying, fuel sources around here. Those are the only three. The two ways are the oil from whales, the burned wood, and other salvaged from nearby. Whether if something breaks, they're going to make it out of it. But there's another problem with the towns. The towns have been, as you've been hearing whispers in this, and Finnick, since you're a local, you know this for a fact. When I say that, because you've heard the rumors for months.
No, wait. Are we talking about facts or are we talking about rumors?
It's so rumored that it's considered fact.
It's a factual rumor.
Every town, based on its source of resource, gives up part of their resources for the gods to try and break this blight of darkness. So, in the case of Bryn Shaddar, East Haven, and Targos, they hold lotteries, and people are sacrificed because they are the big cities. Their resource is people. The smaller towns can't afford to give up the people; they give up their food. So they offer big carts of food off to whoever comes and takes it. They don't see it, but the food disappears. And some towns they don't have enough food and they don't have enough people, so they choose to give up warmth. And what it is they turn out all the lights at night, so the only warmth they have is body warmth. So those are the good nights. But if there's a light in a house, those people will be dragged away for making the gods mad or angry. So every city has this is what is it? Sector 11, Sector 12, Sector 13 from Hunger Games. Everybody has something that they give up to try and appease the gods to break this whole darkness spell or this whole darkness blight.
After
This are all
hearing this happen,
sacrifices to Oriel. Go ahead.
After having this happen for a long time, one would wonder whether or not that actually does anything.
You're not wrong.
It's the wrong gods.
I was gonna say they just maybe it's a
Hmm.
pronunciation thing.
You need to get on a box on the corner and start shilling your god then.
I tried that, but it didn't last long. It was
I
only
come
2
from
minutes
the
into his
warp
speech
chute.
before he
He's
just
gone.
warped away.
Yeah, exactly. You went up and said, "Ladies, it gone."
Yeah, people thought it was a sign from the gods that I was not a true believer.
These sacrifices to Oriel, the god of this darkness, sorry, the god who they're trying to bring back. The Frostmaiden is causing this darkness. Each of the towns has someone, and you specifically would know this, Finnick. You know that each of the towns
Yep.
has their town council. Each of the town council is the important person of the town. Call them the mayor, call them the councilman, call them the governor, call them whatever. They have the say. Or at least they've chosen to have the say. So they're totally okay with killing off people. They're totally okay with giving up the food. Most likely because they don't have to sacrifice themselves. They don't have to sacrifice their food. It's the town's food they're giving up.
Don't worry, my
Each
family takes care of our town really well with food.
Exactly. Each town is independent settlement and elects a leader or a speaker to represent its interests at meetings of the council of these speakers, which are infrequent and take place at Council Hill in Bryn Shaddar, the largest city of the 10 towns. These meetings are called to discuss matters, shared interest, and to set disputes between the towns. But it has nothing to do, these councils don't get together to figure out who's given up what. They choose that on their own.
Oh, and they don't judge each other on who picks what?
Nope,
Well, that's good.
because they know some towns don't have the people.
Sure.
So in my opinion, I'm not moving to Bryn Shaddar if they're sacrificing people. I'm moving out. So I don't know if this can be shown over yonder, but we're looking currently at the Icewind Dale map. At least you guys should be able to see it. Okay.
Yep.
And just to do a little fact finding, I'm going to zoom in here just a bit. If we look right here, this would be the kind of this would be where that would be where the originally Bacon would be. That little section there. He's from Calvin's. Sorry, he comes from. He hailed from Calvin's Cairn in the Dwarven Valley. Up here, way up in the mountains, if we scroll down a little bit and head a right, we're going to go over in this section. This is going to be the spine of the world, or the freezing, frigid mountains where the Goliaths are from. That would be where Howler originally is from, and apparently he's never going back.
Maybe.
We are starting. These are the 10 towns. They're all along this little road area. Everything north from Lonelywood down to south, Dugan's Hole, east, East Haven, and west, we're going to start in Bremen.
And I don't care what anybody says, but good mead does not have good mead.
So, starting with Bremen. This is the hometown of Finnick. Finnick, what can you tell us about Bremen?
Well, first of all, it's a small little town. We have a few set of people. Mostly, if I remember right, they're mostly human and half elves, if I remember right.
Okay.
And there's a few dwarves. There's a few of everything, but that's the majority. The biggest export that we do is fishing, and my family is a pretty large family, and we do a lot of fishing. And fishing's exciting for up to a certain spot, but obviously not too exciting. Um, our excitement is usually, I'm trying to remember what these towns are all about.
Survival, besides that.
So,
What was that?
Survival.
Yeah, I mean, whether it be a pack of wolves or everything else, or just the dangers of the actual fishing, because never know when you're just going to pop into a big ocean of water and be freezing cold and not have any way to survive. Anyways,
speaking from experience,
All right. Well, that
yeah.
works. That does work. That gives a slight introduction to Bremen. So let's open the game. Are you guys ready to start Icewind Dale? The Rime of the Frostmaiden.
Wait, it's a rhyme.
Yes, it is a rhyme.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We have.
Let's go!
All
Ready
right.
to go.
So
Do we have a choice?
no,
I was
I
thinking somewhere nice, warm, and sunny.
no, you're not going home.
Tropical.
Yeah, where's the jungles of Chult when you need them?
Icewind Dale has become trapped in a perpetual winter. Ferocious blizzards make the mountain pass through the spine of the world exceedingly treacherous, and this land has not felt warmth or the sun or of the sun in over 2 years. There's your answer. In fact, the sun no longer appears above the mountains, not even when it should be at the height of summer. In this frozen tundra, darkness and bitter cold reign as king and queen. Most Dale residents blame Oriole the Frostmaiden, the god of winter's wrath. The shimmering aurora that weaves across the sky each night is said to be her doing a potent spell that keeps the sun at bay. Dale folk live in a scattering settlement known as Ten Towns. The drop off in the caravans coming from the south and travel between these settlements is never ending. Winter has left everyone feeling isolated. Although each town has resolved to appease the Frostmaiden with sacrifices of one kind or another, no respite from the winter's fury seems forthcoming. For our adventurers, such as yourselves, Ten Towns is a place to test one's mettle and, in the spirit of heroes who have come before leave one's mark in the frigid, blighted lands. You guys are now arriving in Bremen, Finnick's hometown, currently with Corwin. And as things go, congratulations, you guys happen to find an inn in Bremen. Everybody knows about this inn probably, except for Corwin, unless you've been there before. That's totally up to you. So let us switch.
What is the
to
name of this inn?
This inn's name is blah 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 blah. The buried
We're going to blah
treasure.
blah 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 blah.
The buried treasure.
Buried treasure. Okay.
So
Yeah, never did find that.
I'm going to move you
Well,
guys
it's
over,
beneath the
and
sea
you
of
should
moving
find
ice.
your.
That's why.
Let's move these. Let's put our characters.
The treasure is the friendships that we make in the end.
All right.
Aw.
As Howler, I got. Yeah, somebody's blind. We won't name names. That would be Corwin. No, that wouldn't be Corwin. That'd be Howler.
Just to say,
Um,
I'm in all black. I see nothing.
Exactly. You can't see anything. How do we do so? I mean, I can open your vision up. I'll open your vision up because it's a. I
It's a
forget.
tavern. There's gonna be
It's you.
sunlight.
Right. All right. It's your. It's going to be based off of your character, so we need light. There you go. I'm going to give you what everybody else has, just so you can park it. There you go.
I have a torch, so just give me a torch radius.
There you go.
Unless I'm in a town where I can't have light right now.
You have light right now. Let me tell you about the towns. Right. Let me tell you about the towns, and this is for all towns. There is not and there is never a lot of foot traffic outside. 10 towners, they know how to handle the cold, and they're okay with the cold, but they don't want to be stuck in the cold. Most happenings occur inside buildings. Most happenings occur because you want to get out of the cold. The problem is, even the inns, they're not warm. They can't burn fires in hearths because they can't waste the resources. So there may be small oil lanterns if they're using that. There may be a small fire, but you don't go in and it's suddenly the biggest, warmest, welcoming inn that you're used to down in that Waterdeep world. For the others here, they're used to these. But Corwin wants to know why his feet aren't warm and toasty.
It's just the wind.
So
once we get inside and we get all the wind, you'll be fine.
You got it. So we see our four intrepid adventurers showing
10
up.
degrees hotter?
So
yeah, more like 6.
I'll take the inn over your hut.
All right,
Get the roofs fixed.
You're officially at the inn. You've got to the door, and in fact, you showed up pretty much at the same time. At the door, you've got this big hulking Goliath, and then this tiny little dwarf behind you, kind of ushering you apparently to get in because it's cold out here.
After ye, friends, please hurry inside.
Would if my feet weren't frozen to the hearth threshold.
Well,
We
the
pick
hearth
him up
is
and we
inside,
drag him
so they're
inside.
not frozen. Let's go.
Finnick just walks through the wall. That's how good he
Oh,
is.
I mean, is the door unlocked at this point, or is there
Yeah,
like
it is.
a
Yeah.
No.
is there a
The door-
cover fee?
there
second
there is no
I
you know,
close
The
the door.
bards
minimum
aren't
drink.
playing tonight. There's
Gotcha.
no cover charge.
Once everybody gets in, I close the door right away.
You got it. As you walk into this town, and I have no idea how we're gonna do music and stuff, because didn't you say it doesn't cross
Doesn't
anymore?
work right now. Yeah.
Okay. But I will tell you, inside this tavern,
figure it out.
there is not any music playing.
I've never
People
tried
come to
playing
the
it.
tavern.
Yeah.
If you want to play, that's fine, but there isn't. Most people come to the tavern just to talk because that's what they do. They meet to talk.
Has anyone never tried playing an instrument when you are cold? It is not a fun experience.
You can
Plus,
do
they don't
wind.
stay.
It just-
They don't
Depends if you're
stay in
playing the
tune.
drums or not.
Yeah, you can't do strings.
No strings.
Wind. It's all wind.
They
And
play the
anything,
coconuts?
anything that's metal, as far as like a fife or something like that. I mean, your lips just get frozen to the pipe. It's
Not
Oh,
You
good.
should try.
Got it.
You should try
Try-
licking the flagpole out there.
Are you trying, Heller, to get it or no?
Music?
Yeah.
I probably will not get it this time. I have to
Okay.
set up a totally new thing in Streamlabs in order for it to.
Oh, I didn't know
Come
because if we could do it through Discord, that's what I was just asking. All right. So as you enter, you walk in, you actually see a few tables open. You see off to your left as you come in. It's a hard stone floor. Half of the inn is a hard stone floor. To your left is two tables. You see a couple of townsfolk at one table, one open table nobody wants to sit by the door. It's cold, and every time they open the door, you freeze. You see the other people, some more people off to your right. You see a couple of tables that are open. You should be able to see Miss Cora Malfoon. She would be the innkeeperess slash owner of this establishment. You would know this, Finnick.
Yep.
And you see a bartender, a half-orc bartender, and of course, as people walk in, they see Finnick and they avert their eyes. They don't care. They know who he is. But of course, they're interested in whatever the hell that is following. And this dwarf and Goliath team at the door. And we're all blurry in Twitch. So, what do you guys do? Finnick, you know Cora. I don't know if Cora knows Corwin, but
Kara.
does she?
Blurry on Twitch on your
Dude.
end would be your download speed.
Okay, that's fine.
He's peeped in a bunch of times. This is the only place to be. I'm sure she's seen him at least once or twice in her life in the last 5 years.
Okay.
But Cora, I have I brought the catch, and I swing over some fish, and for her to cook.
All right, and she whistles. She whistles, makes a little noise, and this half orc just comes over, and he takes the fish. He lumbers himself over, takes the fish, and you see him go into the back. He suddenly
Oh, he
gets
got
fat
fat.
and long. Yep, and then he suddenly gets skinny again, and he
Don't
gets
eat
fat
it!
again.
No!
Then he gets, and you see him go off into the back. And actually, you see this little girl. This little girl chases after him because she's always likes to help. So she's going to go in the back and help also. And what about you there, Bacon? What about you, Howler? You're taking it in. Have you guys ever been to Bremen?
Yes, but it's probably
Okay.
been a while for me.
Okay. What about you, Howler?
Probably not. This is, I've spent enough time traveling from town to town, but I've only hit a few of them in the last little while that we've been. So yeah, I kind of been following, Bacon's lead of, he's leading me around as he's seen more than I have, from outside of our tribe. So
Well, you two, since you are well, you're technically not the farthest from here. You know the area of Bremen. Bremen is one of the smaller cities. Not the smallest, but one of the smaller cities. It doesn't have a lot to offer the people who live here, it has to offer. Visitors, not as much. In fact, you do know there's the town center. That's the tavern center. This tavern actually is kind of really in the southwest corner of Bremen, and the reason you choose this is because in general it is quieter. It is also more townsfolky. You didn't want to be among the riffraff that's visiting Corwin, but you decided to come here because maybe Howler, you'd been here before, or Bacon. You basically went to town and said, "Nope, we're going to the other one. We're going to this tavern." That's why you're in this one specifically.
So I
What
would
do you do?
assume we
Oh,
shuffle up and sit at the table
yeah.
or the
Okay.
bar.
Yep. That sounds good.
All right. So you're shuffling off to Buffalo, and order yourselves a couple of drinks, an apple or whatever. Of course, this place is known for its fish. You just saw some fish being delivered. You just saw. I mean, I have no idea. Finnick, was it just a catch of 5 fish on a string bait of some sort, or a basket
Yeah,
of?
just so you know, the whole strings of all the fish lined up and this, handed them
Yes.
over.
Just handed some knuckle trout over to the innkeeper. Um,
I
she
also
puts.
gave.
Go ahead.
I said I also gave Corwin some delicious wine.
Ooh. The
Smell a little
innkeeper
fishy.
you see the innkeeper put a little bag of coins on the counter to thank you for the fish. It's the usual you deliver. She gives you the pay. Um, and for you two, yeah. She after she finishes up with Corwin, she comes over and says, "Is there anything I can do for you two?" Totally
Right.
cordial. Totally.
Isn't that
There's
an odd couple over there? One's short, one's so tall.
Oi, lads. You got any fish and ale for us?
And of course she's, "Oh, you know we do. In fact, we have the best fish." And she gives a wink over to Finnick. "We have the best fish, freshest always." And she takes your order, and she, as quiet and as pleasant as can be talking to you, she turns off to the back and goes, "2 fish and 2 drinks, you know what I mean?" And then she looks back at you, and she's all very quiet and composed again. And you hear from the back, all right, whatever, I got it. She says that'll be 2 copper each.
All right.
And will you be staying at the bar, or will you be grabbing a table, or what? How do you where would you like to eat your fish and have your ale? And
Uh,
Finnick, you and Corwin are you getting food and snacks and drinks too?
I grabbed the ale already, or the fish wine,
Okay.
and served it to him. And I'm gonna bring Corwin up by me, and
Okay.
we're gonna sit at a table because it's a little bit further away from the door.
And what about the dwarf and the Goliath? Where are you two gonna, or are you gonna stay at the bar?
uh, Heller, you want to just stay at the bar, or you want
Yeah, I'm
to?
fine staying at the bar.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot.
Okay. Eventually, the ogre comes out. Actually, the little girl comes out, and she's got a much too big uh plate on her hands, and you see her struggling as she's walking towards you. And she's got 2 plates, but she's also got 2 drinks. And you see the ogre, the half orc behind her, kind of chuckling, but he's watching her struggle. That's how you learn. And she slides him up on the bar, and she puts the ale glasses on the bar, and she hands them to you, and she smiles, and she curtsies, and she goes back off to the corner and starts playing with her doll. And you see the ogre come back, the half orc come back out, and he's you know satisfied. She did her job. And mom, of course, turns around, and mom here looks and says, "Very good, thank you very much, little one." And then she turns back to you guys.
If
uh
she served them, I would have said, thank you, you won. We won.
I mean,
Mm, Very good job.
she's even shorter than you. I mean, she's wee to you. So
Hmm.
they start them young here.
Oh,
um
we lost a camera.
oh no.
Aaron's out.
Oh no, we've lost someone. Then we can wait. That's fine. While we're waiting, actually, I can use Howler and Bacon. I need you each to roll a perception.
Perception.
Okay.
We're digging into our food.
You guys are more interested in your food, and of course, Finnick, you're doing you know everybody. That's Mr. Johnson over there, Mr. Thompson over there, Mr. Steven, Mrs. You know the town folk, and they know you. So there isn't you didn't walk in and everybody say no at the same time, but that's for the old people in the room. But you do know them. You'll nod. You will make eye contact. You're not your family here. But that way, in Corwin, I have no idea if you're darting your aversion to look, if you are actively nodding and being the chipper little elf of yours, going, "Oh, hello, hello, hello,
He's
hello."
definitely not chipper, but he's rather peeved again at being so cold.
That understood. And in this
magic.
in this inn, there
I
is
haven't gotten that spell yet.
there isn't any fire. Each table has not a small cup, but say almost like a tall platter that's full of whale oil, and it's lit, so the fire is a good 1 foot around, and it's just slowly burning down. But that's at each table. That's considered the warmth for you and your table. If there's no one at the table, they don't light it. If they leave, there's a little cover that people will put it out because it's for the next people. Your table, apparently, so Finnick would have arrived at the table and set his little thing alight, taken the cover off, set the alight, and then enjoyed whatever little warmth/light it gave you. So, Corwin, we know you're hugging it right now. Yes.
Oh yes, I mean, closer in.
Isn't it warm? So much better than out there.
I am telling you, we need to. I mean, what would it take to get you to? I mean, why don't we head south? Wouldn't it be much nicer?
We did head south. We headed south to get here.
I know, but have you ever dreamed of anything warmer?
Oh, yeah, I hear Brent Shadar.
Bryn Shadar?
Yeah. I hear it's warmer down there.
I mean, that's a start. But I was thinking really south.
Oh, you mean Dugan's Hole?
That just sounds wrong.
I mean, if it's warmer than it is here.
Finnick, have you ever seen these two in your town before? Do you want to roll either insight or something to say that you maybe because
these two?
No, these two
are always here.
Yeah, these two are always drunk.
This guy's a creeper.
Exactly. Just in case you know them, would you like to roll an insight to see if you've seen them before, not knowing them by name but just in the area?
So you want me to do an insight?
Insight, just to know if their presence is not worrisome. Okay, yeah. I mean, you may have not.
Harmless.
That's how you feel. and Bacon is worried about the money.
I bet they think they're twins.
You're not worried, but it is still, it's not strange to see Goliaths and dwarves. I guess normally you don't see them walking around together.
Yeah, it's a little weird seeing them together, though.
I mean, maybe the dwarf is his lackey. We don't know, because Goliaths are big and mean.
I mean, there is a lot of body heat on a Goliath.
That thing could burn for hours.
Are you looking to hug him?
I mean, if it's warmer than it is this candle, I'm open to a lot of options.
This candle is beautifully warm.
Do you guys
almost at the point of burning pages from my spell book?
Well, if you don't have any spells, then why not?
Are Finnick and or Corwin, while you're talking about these two, pointing to them, looking at them, talking to each other, then looking back, then talking to each other, then looking back? Is there any outward eye direction or pointing, going, look, he's short?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, he is a dwarf.
Well,
it's not that surprising. Dwarves are short.
We do, but it is kind of dark in here anyway, so it's not like they really probably even notice. I mean,
well, not the Goliath. He can't see. Exactly.
I mean, there's no other light in here.
Just the candles.
Just the candles
Just
on
the
the
candles.
tables,
Yeah,
on
exactly.
each of the tables, and
Yep.
then there would be one maybe on the bar.
But
Where
I mean, there's a bunch of humans here, so they've got to be able to see too.
correct. So and each light probably puts out maybe a 10 foot,
Okay.
5 feet to each
So
side of
people
it.
are constantly tripping everywhere.
Out here, yes, where it's dark. But remember, they're
Steel-toed
walking into
shoes.
these poles. They're walking into these poles too. Um,
Everything's
so
got padding on it.
exactly. And there are no. The only steps are over here, and they know they're there. So this isn't a step. This isn't
They're
a dance
very well
floor.
marked.
Exactly. There's reflectors. So at this point, Howler, off to your left, something's catching your eye about this corner. Now, is it the fact that I mean you do
It's a
have
red token. Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
red token. You suddenly see red and you go, oh my god. No, you see a dwarf that kind of looks like bacon, but
Oh, he's hungry.
he's hungry. Yes, we're gonna cook it up. But
Everything looks like
what
bacon.
kind of dwarf are you?
I mean, all
Bacon.
dwarfs look alike, don't they?
No, they
Girl, boy, they all look
the
have beards.
boys and girls. Yes,
This is an elf.
exactly. No, what he's. I mean, you've been hanging around with bacon for a while. You know, this one looks different. Well, one
It's turkey. It's
you can
turkey
actually
bacon.
tell. You can actually tell female. Yeah, you can tell she braided her beard differently. But you see her intently looking at you two. Not just she's just sitting there looking at you two. I guess sizing you up as a dwarf would
Sure,
do
but
because
how much
everybody's
body
taller
shape
than
do
him.
you?
Tall.
Exactly. Yeah, she's basically 4 foot,
I just
8
ignore
foot,
her.
4 foot, 8 foot. All right. How long do you just ignore it? You're not going to look back, whatever. You're not going to
Who's with
anything.
this
I looked
hyper
over
Do
at her
you-
once. She's staring at me. I
Right,
just
okay.
look away,
Do
keep
you-
eating, or
All right.
whatever.
Well, do you let Bacon know that you just got the googly eyes or anything?
No.
Okay. Well, give it about 10 to 15 minutes. You feel a tap on your shoulder.
10 to 15 minutes, I'd be done eating. So
You're digesting. Remember, you're taller. It takes longer.
still done eating
Okay.
as long as it's digested.
And now remember, it's a tap on your shoulder, but when you turn, if you turn, you're looking down again.
I turn to Bacon first, and then
Mm-hmm.
I nudge him with my knee into his knee, and then I turn around on my chair.
Your knee is at his chest.
No,
we're
it's
both
not.
sitting.
We're on the
We're both
same
sitting.
chair.
Yeah.
You're on the same chair.
Jeez. What is he, like a foot tall and I'm 10 or what? I mean, this is we're not that
You
far
really gotta
apart.
conserve that body heat. I mean,
You're
you're
on
close.
the
Exactly.
same chair. He said he's on the
Exactly.
same chair.
So I nudge
So
him,
basically,
and
it's a mannequin. This
as
is-
you know, as we're
Bacon.
sitting there like this, we
Ventriloquism.
spin together as we spin around, and I just kind of like grab his leg or whatever and flip him around too, and then we're both looking at the dwarf and we're like, yeah.
Huh.
And she looks up to you and she scruffs herself on the face and she says, "You might do. Yes, you might. Not sure totally yet, but you might do." And she says,
He's
Yeah,
more
lads.
your size.
"Please come. Sit. Talk
Look,
with me
lass,
at the warmth," which is just that fire
if
in a
my
little.
ma and da sent you, I'm not ready to go home, okay?
And she looks at you with a very confused look. Your ma and da, I wouldn't say I know them. But, and I don't know you either, but you do look like you might be able to help in this time of need. And she uses the time of need.
I slap Howler on the shoulder.
If I come, he
Well,
come.
we don't have. Might as well listen to the story, eh?
So you see her slowly. I mean, she leaves and she goes and sits down over there. And If Finnick, if you looked over here, she did look at you too. She would give you eye contact, and she would. Again, since you're both from the same town, she doesn't have to speak, but she almost gave you a look like, I've been waiting for you.
Ooh.
And then you see her do a little head come here with her head, and then she goes back to her corner over there, and she's lighting up her pipe.
And I'll go sit next to. Actually, I'll sit in the middle and let Howler sit next to the bar, next to the
To the
wall.
wall. Yeah, whatever
So,
that is.
Finnick, I know it's been a little bit since I popped in last. In the time past, have you and...
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't want to make any assumptions here. I mean, things can happen when I'm gone that... It
Beards
happens
are not. Beards are just not attractive on females. Even if it is a dwarf.
It probably does a better job of conserving heat.
So you're attracted.
I'm attracted to anything that will keep me warm
Warm.
right now.
I'll give you a silver if you go over there and sit in her lap.
This would be normal for you, Finnick. And
What was
maybe this would be normal for you. Maybe not so normal for Corwin. Let me finish before you laugh. And while Howler and Bacon, you guys are at your seats, this is a tavern. This is an inn. It's not surprisingly loud. There isn't music playing, but people are talking. And as I said, this is the place where people talk. They are residents. Well, over things you've heard, you've heard things like, will I be the killer's next victim? I don't know. Will summer ever return to Icewind Dale? I don't know. It sucks. But this is just another gruesome day in 10 towns. There's howling wind, bitter cold, foul tempers, snowdrifts big enough to bury a herd of moose. But today at this local tavern, you guys kept hearing the same things about another victim, another missing person. 3 cold-blooded murders you can pick up in these rumors, in this chatter. A halfling trapper in East Haven, a human shipbuilder in Targos, and 3 days ago, a dwarf glassblower in Bryn Shaddar. Each victim found with a dagger of ice through their heart. What's the connection? This drunken lot of people, because they're gonna to them that's staying warm is to drink. They offer no credible reason why. They're just making statements.
It's just those fanatical Lady Frost Kiss people. You know that.
But then this strange, very, I wouldn't say, okay, strange because you wouldn't have expected this, but she's very veteran. You see her, she walks with purpose. And she looks at you and she's like, so are you the ones that'll help the town? Are you the ones that can help us? There's gotta be just a few of them. But these people have to stop disappearing and being murdered. We're tired of townsfolk dying. So Finnick, do you when this dwarf, Miss Hiln, looks at you and gives you the head to come over, do you guys come over?
We will, but we will turn off the fire, and I will pull Corwin with me.
Yep. Are you gonna pick up some more
Take
drinks?
this with us?
Yes, take it with you.
Oh, good.
The fire or your drink?
The fire.
The drink. No, the drink.
He put the fire out already.
Oh yeah,
Just
you're
take a
fire.
drink.
Yeah, okay. And Hiln you'll see her.
Do you carry an extra pair of warm clothing for him when he comes, so that he just changes into him right away?
We had the discussion before, and he actually has clothing with him now at all times in his backpack. He keeps it with him.
He doesn't dress him. Okay.
No, I don't dress him. The first time.
When he blinks back out, and he's still in the same clothes and stuff. So he put the warm clothes on at one point, and he's had them on since.
So on the 105-degree days down in Waterdeep, he's just really hot.
Well, we haven't figured out whether he ports back to Waterdeep or not yet.
Okay. Yeah, we don't know where the return is. All right. Apparently Corwin's frozen.
Corwin is frozen.
I'm coming. I gotta remember which window to have open. Okay, what seat is nearest the fire?
There is no. Oh, it's the fire's gonna be smack dab in the middle. So
Yeah, right in the middle over here. Go to the middle.
yeah, there you go. Okay.
Whatever.
So I mean, yeah, we can go here or here. It doesn't matter. She's just a waste that there's a seat. But she will call out to Cora. Cora, I think we're gonna need more alcohol. And Cora sends, she sends the order back to Mr. Bartender type person, and he's gonna leave. He's big again. He's gonna leave. Where the heck is it? That's the one. Okay. You
He's
see
got
him
some
just.
warp issues.
He does. He stretches. He's Mr. Elastic. A few minutes later, he comes around, adds some drinks to the table, and then he goes back behind. You know this dwarf. This she's a shield dwarf, and she's a retired bounty hunter. You know this, Finnick. And she explains to everybody that I'm sure you've heard about all the bodies. I'm sure you've heard of all the murders with ice daggers. You look like you might be able to help us. I mean,
Is it because I have daggers?
Are they ice daggers?
Oh, no, but if you dip them in water, they turn to ice.
Finnick, I know your parents. Shut up.
I carefully scrub that spell away from my spell book.
Exactly. She wields. You see her battle axe leaning up against the wall. She has scars, and as I said, she holds herself very strongly, but she's retired, or we'll say semi-retired. The towns aren't doing anything. Some people have come to her and said she should do something. She said, I'm retired. She said she's retired.
But we've been doing stuff. I've been fishing every day to help supply this place with food. And Corwin here wants to know, does your beard help you stay warm?
Yes. Yes, it does, especially when it catches fire.
If only I could grow a beard.
So, as I said, you look very capable. I mean, really, like, you could help this town out. And I know Finnick. We do stuff for the town. And maybe if these two over there, and she points to Howler and Bacon, maybe these two could help you, and you guys could help figure out what's going on with all these murders. They're getting gruesome. Three, I say. Three in the last 3 months.
Wait a minute here. Aren't they sacrificing people in Bryn Shadar every week or so, or 3 weeks, or I don't know. Time is wibbly wobbly.
It's on average. Average is every month.
Wobbly. What is wibbly wobbly?
It's about every month they sacrifice a person.
It's wishy-washy.
So, out of this just plain, she's tired of being asked because she just isn't a fighter anymore. She's
not going
retired.
to do anything about it.
And so she's trying her best to find somebody that can. And the two of you at the bar sparked her interest.
If you're retired,
she knows
what are you doing with the battle axe?
Well, some things are hard to get rid of. And if you
give it to me, I'll take it off your hands.
And she says, especially outside those doors, it's, you know what I mean, it's necessary.
Cold. Yes, very.
Yes, cold. And the battle axe slices the cold.
Actually, that's not far from the truth. But no, the wolves and the bears and the
lions and tigers.
I haven't seen a lion in a long time. You've seen lions?
Nice Miffits.
Yes.
So she says one name. She says Sefak Kaltro. And she looks for your reactions. And there's only one of you who would actually know that name. But in your travels over the last few years, if anybody would like to make what do we want to do? I guess just an intelligence to see if you've ever crossed him before. Does that name sound familiar?
Just an
I don't think
intelligence
I've ever.
check.
I don't think I've ever crossed anyone.
Well, maybe not. And in this way, you've actually. So Bacon, not so much. Finnick, you know who he is.
Intelligence
it
check
doesn't
or
want
an
the rest of us
intelligence
to know.
save?
No, not yeah, just intelligence, not the save, Tom.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's still
Zero.
plus
It's the
0.
same.
Okay, it is the same. Okay, so for you there, Howler,
It rolled from a 20 to a
we have
2.
Tweedledee and Tweedledummer. Okay,
Well,
We
we don't
don't
know.
spend a lot of
We
time
don't
here.
spend a
Come
lot
on.
of time here. This
now
is the
watch
first time I've ever
Corwin.
been here.
Now watch Corwin. He's gonna roll a
Come on,
20, and he's
Corwin.
only been
Corwin.
here like 10
Corwin-
minutes.
Corwin's never been here, so Corwin would have no idea.
Okay, I was just thinking it'd be funny if he suddenly rolled like a crit. Okay, so, but when she says that name,
Gesundheit.
Finnick, you know this person. You don't know him personally to where you know who he is, what he does. You do know that he is part of a small caravan of what we will say maybe not the most up and up tradesmen. And she looks at you and she says, "So tell them. If you don't tell them, I will." You turn into Stevie Wonder.
TV Wonder? No.
It says Star Trek Wonders. Fine. You won't talk.
No. Talk? I
No,
did talk.
that's it. Okay.
No,
So
that was just me seeing the people below us.
I got
I
you.
know what she's asking. I know what she's asking. Well, I don't
So-
know that much about them, but I don't know who this person is actually.
Meaning you
I would
give me a
tell
second.
them.
So okay.
Yeah.
So she looks at you and she says, "Fine. Play stupid." And she says that to your face. But again, you've known her for years. And she's like, "Sefik Caltro. He works for the small traveling merchant around here, a company called Torgs or something like that. It's owned and operated by this shady dwarf named Torga Icevein. In other words, Sepik is getting around. He's charming, he makes friends easily. He's also
not charming.
Torg's bodyguard. I guess he's good with a blade. Well, his victims come from only 3 towns that sacrifice people to the Frostmaiden on nights of the new moon. Well, this is what passes for civilized behavior in the Windale. Maybe the victims found a way to keep their names out of the drawings. And Septic found out that they were cheating. So he killed them. Maybe, just maybe, Septic is doing the Frostmaiden's work. I followed Torg for a 10-day as he moved from town to town. And by the way, new kid, it's not that cold out there. Quite the devious little enterprise. But that's not my concern. What struck to me was how comfortable Sefik Caltro looked in the weather. No coat, no scarf, no gloves. It was like the cold couldn't touch him. Kissed of the Frost Maiden, indeed. I will pay you 100 gold pieces to apprehend Sefik Caltro. Ascertain his guilt, and may deal with him, preferably without, shall we say, involving the authorities. And when the job is done, come back here and I'll pay you.
I think
much
the
did she
authorities
offer
are sitting
again?
over.
Finnick, how many drinks has she had so far?
Oh, they're all tipped over. She's nice and warm though.
Yeah.
How much did she offer us?
100 gold.
100 gold.
Each, right?
She's a dwarf. She doesn't get gold.
He
I
then
look at
looks at
Bacon and I
Finn.
go, "Do you get cold?"
Put your hand on her lap once.
She looks.
I
Bet you
do,
it's
lad.
warm.
She looks at Finnick and says, "Connect the dots. Where were the last 3 sacrifices from?" And you know exactly that they came from Bryn Shandir, East Haven, and Targos, the 3 sacrificial towns.
So if I'm to understand here, what you're saying is there's a shady individual that people that would normally come from sacrificial towns are dying, and that's about it.
What she thinks is these people got their names out of the lottery
Yes, I understand that. But
illegally.
how are you under what suspicion?
Well, I just check the scrolls.
What she says at that point is she says, if these towners are dying who cheat their way out of becoming sacrifices to Oriel, it's likely that maybe the Frostmaiden will use him to keep killing off 10 towners,
So
which is the Frostmaiden's actual desire.
I'm still not. There's something here that I'm not quite getting though. And why are you assuming that they must be cheating?
Their names have never been on the list.
Oh, well, that
Oh.
was a very important detail.
Well, she
Are the
did
names of
say
this to be
before that
drawn,
they
or the
got their
names of
names
this?
taken off the list,
Oh.
and then I just shut up again.
Now, the fact that there's another was you said he was a dwarf, right?
The owner of the merchant of the Torga?
Yeah, Torah.
Torga Icevein, yes, he's a dwarf.
Yes, he's a dwarf. Okay, the fact that he's wandering
A-
around in it,
A shady dwarf.
a shady dwarf. Considering the fact that he's wandering around in his skivvies without any issue, I want to know
No.
what he's got.
It's not the dwarf wearing the skivvies.
Cephek.
It's Cephek.
Stefik, yes, who's not a dwarf.
No, in fact, she pulls out a piece of paper and she does her best at trying to describe what this person looks like. And I
Either
say
way,
that now I gotta find
whatever
it.
he has, I want some of that. If he is able to walk around without feeling any of the cold, I am all for that.
Learn how to
I do
cast
not want to follow her
prestidigitation.
ways.
Well, I mean, yes, if there's anything that... I wouldn't rule that out yet, actually, but... I mean, if there's a way to get a little bit warmer, I'm all for it.
Let me see.
I cast prestidigitation on
On Warm Boy?
and make him just slightly warmer for just a moment.
All your clothes become slightly warmer.
While
Does
she
prestidigitation actually affect temperature?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
They
Yep.
can
Oh.
warm up things.
You
Yes.
can dry things.
Prestidigitation on your clothes every
Oh, that I am
6
constantly...
seconds. Yeah,
You didn't have the spell.
you go.
What was that?
You say you didn't have the spell to do that yet.
You just say,
He does
"Warm
have-
me,
he
warm
does have
me, warm me,"
prestidigitation. I
and
just
it
didn't know it
whoosh.
could do that.
Yeah,
Where's
it's actually right
Let's
in the
see.
description.
Yep.
You instantly light, cleaner soil, chill, warm, or flavor. Interesting.
You can be grape flavored if you want.
Yeah. No, but just warming. Just constantly.
Every 6
in
seconds.
public.
Poof, poof,
Every
poof.
6 seconds.
Probably more around the pants than anything else.
Ooh.
Don't want those things getting too cold.
Anyhow,
So he pulls out this parchment, and she draws a human figure in her best way, but it's almost like he is missing his I mean, he's not naked, but
you don't.
he's wearing the way she draws it. It's just normal clothing.
It looks like a goblin on stilts.
2 goblins.
Kobolds on
goblins.
stilts?
So she looks at you and says, to you specifically first, Finnick.
Yep.
Yes.
So
See
will
a
you
picture?
help? Will you help?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure my dad won't mind if I, don't come home for a little while. Besides, kind of don't want to go fishing tomorrow.
Hmm.
Well, you draw really well, by the way.
And she's getting what little, more drinks because someone wants to get warm. He just figured out he has prestidigitation. And she says, at least go look.
I mean, are we supposed to follow this gentleman?
She says, I don't know where they are currently. I don't know where Torg's merchants are. But
They're
but you gotta follow the bodies, I guess.
Well, are there any other towns that have sacrifices?
No. Those are the only 3 that have sacrifices. There are 3 towns with the food,
Mm-hmm.
and those are blah blah and blah.
Is Bremen one of those?
Brennan is. Hold on a second. I gotta get the little shindiggy here. La 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 la. Brennan is. Brennan is food. Yes,
our main food is fish. Just so you
right. But he fishes a lot so that they can do the sacrifice.
don't believe in a sacrifice though, because nobody should trust.
It seems like the smaller the town, they get to the warmth part. The little tiny towns are the ones that are turning off all the lights for the 24 hours, so that's their sacrifice.
So, like Lonely Wood, Dugan's Hole, and Goodmead.
Yeah, that sounds good. We'll use those. So, what do you four do
I
besides
think
drink the free alcohol that she's buying?
I'm pretty sure I could be game.
And while you
but-
guys are discussing that, I'm doing a quick bio.
I
real
pull Howler aside. So what do you think, lad? I mean, we could use the money, and if there'd be people being killed for reasons other than the sacrifices,
Yeah.
couldn't hurt to look into it.
Do we trust these other 2?
An elf and a half elf? Never. But we watch each other's back, right?
Always.
Hey, watch what you say there, shorty.
This is a private
Say in Dwarven.
conversation.
Okay.
Right across the table from us.
Right. We pulled away a little bit. Yeah, but you probably still heard it.
Yeah, but you have to yell 4 feet above you for him to hear.
No, I ducked down.
I haven't had a lot of interactions with Goliaths, at least. Are they trustworthy?
Never.
No,
Oh,
I mean, as long as you don't walk underneath their feet.
That would make sense.
But you're tall. We're tall enough.
Exactly. Yes. This Sefik character. Have you heard of him before?
Yeah, we've seen them around here a few times.
Any interactions?
Not really. I don't know. Not my type of people.
Oh well.
The
yes.
only thing you would know about this caravan, say this Torg's merchant, is that you know what honest you sell. You bring 12 fish, he gives you 3 whatever.
Yeah.
You're selling your fish for a copper per knucklehead trout. He's trying to sell it for 20 silver. He's selling things that he considers the best pieces in the world for warmth. And this, when you know it's not, it's crap. But he's trying to pass stuff off, and he's always trying to make a buck. That's Torga.
Mhm.
And Sefik just is always in his vicinity.
So maybe if we talk to Torga first, and then. I mean, is Sefik the type of individual that you wouldn't want to be caught alone in a dark alley with?
I mean, we do trust somebody
You
like
would-
that.
I mean,
You
that,
would-
if it's an accurate sword and everything, no.
You would not. I will tell you this. you specifically, Finnick.
Yeah.
You know he has a history. He has he's not somebody you would like to cross. He's a fight first, ask questions after they're dead type person.
So maybe it is better that we tag along some extra.
I think it's best, not to mention. Well, yeah.
I mean, if we need someone to stand in front of a sword,
There's a tall guy right there.
exactly.
That's right.
Like I said, it's kind of like running away from a bear, except the other way around. You don't want to be the tallest. You don't want to be the shortest. You want to be somewhere in the middle. And I think we've got both ends of the spectrum, so we're good.
Yeah. Not the tallest. We're not the smallest. We don't look like a hearty meal.
Exactly. I mean. Mhm.
And
Carry your fishing pole and say, "I was fishing."
And just give it a little bit of time, and I'll just be out of your hair in no time at all.
And the killing blow. Poof, he's gone.
I didn't like the sound of this dwarf. He'd given the clans a bad name. Perhaps looking into him and his work is worthwhile, time well spent as well.
See, we've got options. I mean, investigating cultural malpractice, figuring out ways to keep much warmer. We've got all the reasons in the world to accept this job.
He might have stuff that you can use, so you're not frozen.
Yes, exactly.
So what you're telling me is, as long as you're able to stay warm, you're in.
Exactly. As long as I stay warm, I'm in.
Ah.
So she
It
looks
just
at
seems
you
every
and
time
she
I come
says,
back, it just seems a little bit colder.
"It is."
Why.
She's
So
she's listening to you. She's listening. She's
Uh-huh.
gauging. Go ahead, Tom.
and what are her surface thoughts while we're having this conversation?
What do you read from her?
Yeah.
Ooh.
She's if looking at her eyes as a fighter type that you were training to be and everything. You see, want. You see
She's longing for you.
exactly. She thinks you're cute. No, but it's not. You see a warrior's eyes that
Praising.
she wants. She would want to go with you,
Hmm.
but she knows she can't. She's giving you that look like, if I only could, I would, but I can't. And please say yes for this, because she wants to do good, but she can't do that anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So she's looking at each of you while you're talking, and she's taking in each of your pros and cons and this and that and you see her in in a gravelly kind of way. She's not talking, but you can see in her facial expressions like, okay, oh, okay, I'll wait. Okay, okay, because you're seesawing back. You're trying to figure it out. So at the end of your group, not bickering, but your group fact finding on whether to do this or not, she's looking at all of you. And what do you say? Well, she actually will say, "So, do we have a deal?"
Aye. The lad, and I point up at him, and I are in.
I
Wait. So he's younger than you?
yeah.
Aye. I've been friends with his father for over two decades. Almost three. Aye, 3 decades.
So that was a yes.
Okay.
Probably a bit older than you too.
Oh, you're definitely older than me, old man.
So you see her grin. This is the first time you've seen her grin in a bearded, cockeyed tooth look. And she says, "Then we seal it with a drink." And she calls for another round. And then she releases one last bit of information.
You're all gonna die down there.
No, that's what she says. No, she's like, "I can't tell you if Torga knows if it's Sephic, like if he's in cahoots. I don't know if he has the support of Torga to do this, but it's probably best if you do get. I heard you talking about it. It's probably best if you get Saphic alone.
That shouldn't be a problem.
I offer him some fish. Here's some fish. You look like you like fish." Okay. Do you have any
Everybody likes
last
fish.
questions? That's right. Everybody likes. Do you guys have any questions for her?
Oh, where do these individuals hang out? Like, where can we
She
find
explains
them?
to you that they are a traveling cart of
Mhm.
merchant ware.
Yep.
They travel primarily in the 10 towns. The last places it was seen, and they don't go for a day. They stay for
They
a
set
week.
up. Yep.
They set up camp, a gypsy caravan type thing. They set up to stay for a bit. The last 3 places they were known to be, of course, were East Haven,
Mhm.
Bryn Shaddar, and whatever that last one was. Targoth.
Yep,
And the
Targus.
last person to die was the dwarf glassblower from Bryn Shaddar 3 days ago.
Has it been 3 days between each one, or a week between each one?
No, it's at every new moon.
Every new moon. How long do we have till the next new moon?
27 minutes.
About that. Because you never see the moon, so you don't know. No, if we go by it, it's about. I mean, based on the calendar, Tom, the calendar, and this is it a 5-week month? It's a 10-day week.
It's yeah, technically it's a 4-week month, a 10-day, 10 days for each
So
month. And then in between every third month is is an additional 10-day that's like a festival week.
So I
So
guess
if we
my main question is, do we have to worry about it tonight?
no,
Okay.
So is a 10-day actually 10 days?
Yes.
Okay.
that would be the next. Well, no, it would
And
be
I'm sorry, it's
27 days before the next. Sorry,
3 10
37
days.
days before the next new moon.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So if there's going to be another murder, we've got that much time.
You have time, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get an idea of how desperate are we. Um, is everyone? So the sacrifices are lottery based in the other towns.
In the 3 towns, correct.
In
Yeah,
other-
these
in the
foolish
other towns.
towns. Foolish towns.
Now, what about the other towns? Does everybody like equally contribute? Like everybody gives food, or everybody
Yes.
gives warmth?
It is if a way to explain it is your not that you'd have a lot of wheat and a lot of oat and a lot of
Sure. No. Your allotment of fish.
correct. Every family produces or gives their percentage of it.
Okay, so the best. So we have a potential way to also identify a potential victim in a country is look, or in a town is look at if there's anybody that's trying to get out of the system and contributing towards that in some
Right.
way.
So we'd
Right.
have to find out exactly what the system is.
Yep.
And talk to the people in charge of it.
Correct, but we'd have to get an idea of where the caravan is first. So that'll be the step one, figure out where the trade caravan is. Step 2, figure out who's messing with the system, maybe. And step 3, prevent justice from being done.
Well, does it matter where the caravan is right away if
I mean, figure out where they're going to be.
what?
Okay.
But if
Well-
it's that far, if the next sacrifice is that far away, then maybe we just start with the closest town and system, which to us right now is either Targos or Bryn Shander, if I remember
Yeah, but
correctly.
if we're in Bremen right now.
Mhm.
Right.
You want me to bring out the
Or-
map?
Targos is right next to us.
I mean,
I
we
heard
could, yeah, we
rumors
could
that the
go.
ring is in Brinchander.
Okay, yeah, we could go to Bryn Shadar and see if they're
The ring.
if
The ring.
if it's still there. I mean, that would be the latest, probably.
Okay.
Bit of a walk,
Now,
but
where did you say they were at, Martin?
Where the murders were?
Yep,
Or where the bodies were found?
the
The bodies
murderers.
were found in Bryn Shadar,
First one
East East Haven.
though, East Haven,
It was found at, I'm going to tell you here. I'm going to get
And
it.
Targos.
Can
then
you flip
Targos.
us
Right,
back to
but the order was
regional map, Martin, so we can see that?
I am. Let me open it up. Okay.
It's in the Monday night notes, our general, isn't it?
It might be, but I'm putting you in the big map just here for a second.
Sure. So East
There you
Haven.
go. So you should see everything. You got it?
Yep.
Oh, East Haven, then Targos, then Bryn Shadar?
No, Targos would be the closest. Bryn Shadar is the next one, and then you take the Eastway Road to East
But the
Haven.
murders.
What was
he's
the order
asking
of
about
murders?
Oh, the order of the murder. Sorry, I'm getting that right now. The Bryn Shadar was the latest one.
Okay.
Targos was the next one,
Mm-hmm.
and East Haven was the oldest one. So
Yeah.
it went East Haven, then Targos, then Bryn Shadar. Correct.
Your guess is as good as mine then, as far as where they're going next.
Is there a way to add a?
Because
wow.
I mean, from Bryn Shadar, they could go north, they could go south, they could go east, they could go west.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, they could just be heading back to East Haven.
They could be headed here.
I mean, they could be head. I mean, we could
One,
head east and then see if we encounter
two,
them on the way.
3. There's your order of bodies.
I mean, so what do these trade folk trade in mostly?
Whatever their resource is in general. If you go up towards Lonelywood, it would be in lumber, timber. Anybody on the lake is going to be fish.
Fish.
For some people, most likely the Bremens and maybe the Targos, they would follow the river, that Shanagnom River heads west to get out to the Sea of Moving, and they would be whalers. So they're going to bring in the whale oil. You've got some down in Goodmead. You've got some lumber. The further north you get, maybe up at Tremelaine, maybe Caer Konig. You're out near the mines. Now, are the dwarves going to give them the stuff from the mines? No, but they are probably trading with the dwarves to get whatever mine. I mean, I don't know if there's such a thing as coal in the region, but some form of iron or whatever. And they're in turn trading warm clothes, or there's always the hunters who are picking up pelts and they're making the warm clothing.
Oh yeah, Arctic foxes up here. Arctic wolves.
Got it.
They'll
So we don't probably even
kill
have an
you
idea
fast.
of what they're probably collecting next or trading for next either.
Correct. And their
Well-
merchant, their stuff is pretty much whatever sits on their shelves.
Mhm.
They have
They
hit
just-
all the large towns, so the next one could be Terra Millennium.
It could. That would be the next biggest one.
well, except that the deaths have so far been just the 3 that were avoiding sacrifice.
Yeah.
Correct.
Potentially. I mean, if that's the accepted theory.
So is Terma
Right.
avoiding sacrifice too because
Well,
they're a
they
bigger
don't
town?
have sacrifices.
Termalaner is a resource town, so they would be food.
So unless someone's trying to get out of the resource system as well, I mean, that could be a means by which. if
Well,
we're
the more
operating
food you
under
have, the more
idea-
opportunity you have to trade to get the other resources you have. So if you're not sacrificing that, then I don't know.
Hey,
I'm
Cora.
just trying to show you all the patterns.
We could ask.
Fennec,
Hey,
If
what
they
do
have
you,
regular
Hey,
going
Cora,
back?
what did you
schedule.
what did you get from what did you guys pick up from the merchants that came through town?
Like from Torga,
Yeah,
or
what did-
just
what
from
is-
other
no, that particular group. What does she?
that
pick? Did
particular
she-
group? Nothing.
Nothing.
She
don't
does.
happen-
She looks at you and goes, "You know, I don't buy any of his." No, sorry, that's not her. She looks at you and
She's
pleasantly
Boston.
says, "You exactly. You know, I don't buy any of his. Oh, what do we call it around here? Crap."
You know where
It's
he's
not-
going to? You know where he's going to peddle his crap next? Do you remember what he said?
And she looks at you and says, "Flip the page.
Ooh. That in this town
Roll
says something
roll
else.
an investigation."
Roll an investigation.
Or an
I
insight if
will.
you're talking to somebody.
Well, no, this
Would
says
you like?
specifically.
Yeah. Would you like
What do you want me to do?
assistance on that?
Actually, you're from this town, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do it with advantage. Remember I was telling you earlier?
Do you want investigation or insight?
You pick with advantage.
I'm gonna take investigation every time.
Okay. And that was the one they listed first.
Yep. So not the greatest.
And no, she looks at you and goes, "You want to know where Torga went? Sorry, you want to know where Torga went? Hold on a second." And she looks back at the half orc and she's looking inquisitively because it's been a while since he's been in this town. And she's like, she says that old Bill might know because he just came back from Bryn Shaddar. And old Bill would be the guy back in this back left corner. Let me get out of here. I don't want that anymore. How do I I don't want to draw. Clear drawings. Okay. Confirm. Okay. She says this guy back in this corner over here. She's like, you know old Bill. Old Bill is a he's a sled driver who carries stuff from Bremen to all the other towns. He's not a traveling salesman. He's a deliverer. So he takes resources from Bremen, fish or whatever, takes it over to Bryn Shaddar, and then he'll trade it up. Because remember, all the towns, they want to survive. So they're going to need the food, but towns don't cheat each other, except for Torga. And the people who pay him are paying because they just want what he has, and it's not the greatest of. He says it's the greatest of stuff,
Of course.
but again, so there's old Bill. We can rename him if you'd like. It's officially going to be called
Oh, Bill, that's fine.
Old Bill.
Obi Bill.
Old Bill. So old Bill's there, and he's looking on. Finnick! Oh, it's been how long? Oh my God! What's up?
What's up? I heard you went
And-
to Brem Shadar. Brem Shadar? Is that how he
Yeah.
said it?
Bryn Shaddar, yeah. And he's like, I just got back. What? You need me to bring you something there? You need something from there? What's up?
Oh no. I was just wondering if you've seen its I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. That little sly guy, Torgo?
Torga.
Torga. If he
And
was
he's
he there
like,
recently?
you mean the scum of the earth, Torga? Oh,
Yes.
no, I didn't see him there, but I roll another investigation.
Ah,
Of course, with advantage because of the town.
that's
Okay,
good
rolling.
because my rolls are
I see that. It's okay.
the best.
He's like, oh, where did he go? Where was he go? Oh my God, where was he going? Oh, he was heading east somewhere. Where exactly?
East Haven?
I don't know if it was East Haven. I don't know if it was heading
Hopefully not.
towards Corkenig or Cordeval. I just know he was heading north. I mean, the further away from here, the better. You know what I mean?
Wait, north or east?
That's all
Yes,
east
north,
of Bremen. They're all the eastern towns of
Okay.
the 10 towns.
Well, no, you just said
He
that.
said north. He said north, yes.
Sorry, east of them. He was somewhere east, and to them, that's east of Bryn Shaddar.
Oh, hopefully for us, he'll fall in the water.
You
Crash
can
it or
only
something.
hope. And he lifts his glass and he says, "I hope your family's doing well and don't get into trouble."
I never get into trouble.
He laughs as he's drinking and he almost coughs it up.
do really bad.
That one time, as you're walking away, he's doing. You remember the time you? And he just gets quieter as you walk away. So you got a little information that he thinks he was heading east of Bryn Shaddar. So to you, that means it's either Caer Konig, Caer Dineval, or East
Or
Haven.
East Haven. Mm-hmm. I mean, he could be heading back to East Haven, just to repeat the thing, repeat the
It kind of makes sense. I mean, East
cycle.
Haven to me makes the most sense, but
Well, and if nothing else, it's would be a place in that direction that we could begin an investigation to figure out the process and how the victim was able to avoid the list. And maybe who knew.
That's also
uh,
true.
any fine auditor would know that.
And
It
that's
sounds
when
like a good
and
place to
Helm,
start.
okay, and Helm, she looks at you and she does the. I hope you get this guy. I hope you prove me right, because if I'm
No,
wrong, I'm gonna bet I'm betting my life as a bounty
no,
hunter
no,
that
no. Wait, you're a bounty hunter?
Yeah,
that
and
was
she
her
doesn't want to
trade.
go up on this.
Oh.
So she's putting all her chips in.
But if you are wrong, we still get the 100
You
gold,
won't
right?
you won't find her here. She looks at you, she winks
She
at
will
you, and
be
she
the
says,
next on the list.
exactly. She's laughing at you. Goes, ah, oh, you're one of them, aren't you? You've always been that little snicker of a guy. Oh, you Finnick.
You're your father's son, adopted son.
Exactly. You're your father's not really son, but okay. So it is probably. I'm figuring you guys got here. You fished all day, or you fished your time. It was probably late afternoon when you got in, and so, um, Finnick, you have a house. Corwin, you have wherever Finnick is saying you have. Howler and Bacon, you're at an inn.
Yeah,
Uh,
we need
what do
to
you?
get a room.
Okay. And so,
we usually set up Corwin in a like a net hammock thing with a whale bladder simmering underneath
underneath him,
to
cooking him.
yep, yeah, to
How
kind of
long does
help.
prestidigitation take or last?
Actually, like an hour.
Every hour he wakes up and touches himself. Got it. That's wrong.
You
Hmm.
An
no,
hour,
but
really?
we keep him warm.
I thought it was longer than that. I thought it was like 8. But anyway, so you guys need to talk to Cora to get a room. And Finnick, so you guys just gonna meet here first thing in the morning. You do know travel takes a long time here.
I bet you're not even
It is
properly equipped for this.
it is. Where are you going first? I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna
Probably
bring up
Bryn
the.
Shadar first, right? Or Torig first. I mean, we're
No,
gonna go
no,
through
no. We're
I'm
gonna
bringing up.
stop
I'm
at
bringing up the map.
Argos first.
There you
Right.
go.
So we have to go to Targos,
Targos. Yeah,
Yeah,
start
it's right
Targos,
on the
Okay.
way.
and yeah,
then yep, Bryn Shander, and then a long trip down the east way to East Haven. That's a long trip.
I
yeah.
put
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
It is. I'm looking. I put my. Oh, there it is.
Now it's a
Okay.
It's
caravan, so
like
a caravan's actually probably traveling
25
slower
miles.
than we are too.
Correct. So
So
the
we
first
might
question is,
actually
how are
get
you
there.
how are you going to travel to Targos? How are you four going to travel? Are you going to travel walking? Do any of you have
Snowmobile.
snowmobile? So that would be called the Ice Beak.
Dog sled.
Um, dog sled.
I was going to say, I would assume dog sleds if we can get the dogs.
If we can.
You
Otherwise,
can
bobsled will work too.
always rent these things.
This is why I should
and
have been a druid. I could have just turned into a dog for us and pulled the dog sled.
Except we need multiple.
Yeah. That's why we
So
needed the ranger.
Well, if it were just me and the dwarf, I would be strong enough to pull one.
Yeah. This whole
So-
travel thing is why the ranger class was
Huh.
going to be
So-
so helpful.
if you're walking, so right now we're looking at Targos. Targos is a whole Da, 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 da. 2.5 miles away, maybe 3 miles away. And
Yeah.
that will take you, if you're walking.
It's 2.5 miles because we're not going straight.
Okay, we're not going straight, so it's 2.5 miles all of a
Yeah.
sudden.
Well, if you look at the angle or yeah, we
I
gotta
mean,
cross
You
the
don't
water
want to
too.
cross the water gap. Yeah.
all right, if you're walking on foot with snowshoes, that will take you to go 2.5 miles for 8-10 hours.
Wait, but on the road, or is that
That's with snowshoes on. If we want to take the road being packed snow and not needing snowshoes, I would actually use that as it would cut the time in half, but it's still arduous because you are walking in cold,
right?
potentially snowy. You're not having to use snowshoes because you are using the road.
Right.
So
Hey,
you're
snowshoes are
looking
pretty
at,
fast.
so it's still pretty fast. So you would get there in about 5 hours.
But you're essentially right. We're going from Bremen to Targos one day,
Correct.
then to
Yep.
Bryn Shander the next day.
Yeah, because Bryn Shander is again about, that one's a little more than, that's about 5 miles. So you're looking at 10-hour day, 9 hour day of walk, following the road again, not using snowshoes. I mean, technically, if you want to walk 14 hours, you could get to Bryn Shander, but I don't know if you
So
want to do
what
that.
is travel like with so the axe beaks are kind of like mules,
Yeah, they're the horses of the region.
and how fast do they travel?
Okay, an axe beak travels at, it says check monster manual. Okay, give me a second.
They're
I need to.
stinky.
I know. I try. Come on, open up. So we want Xbeak. A-X-E space B-E-A-K. Xbeak. Okay. And Xbeak's movement is. It's technically twice as fast as you, pretty much.
Okay.
So it would cut things down, but they're 50 gold apiece. If you find them in this city, and you'd be purchasing them.
Right. So we can't afford that right now.
No, that's fine.
I mean,
So
speak for yourself.
Yeah,
exactly,
I
there's the
am. I
rich
am
noble
speaking
over
for
there.
myself. If I had that kind of money, I'd be wearing better armor.
Hmm.
Out of curiosity, what kind of armor are you wearing?
Uh, None.
None. Ah,
I have my furs on.
your fur's on. I get it. Fur's on. Fur's on.
It's all just beard.
Yeah, it.
You.
That's my armor. Just my beard.
I mean,
Too
at
bad
some
you
point
weren't.
that counts as padded armor, right?
Too bad he wasn't part of Clan Ironbeard.
If he puts metal rings in it, it's padded ring mail.
Oh, that's right. There you go.
Yeah, you would think that would
Ah,
kind of work. I'm assuming we're going to end up spending the night here, which we are doing.
yeah. Well, we're going to do that regardless because we're not
Yeah.
leaving in the middle of the night.
And Hiln, when you show up to the Cora, she just looks at you and says, "It's been taken care of." And she points over to Hiln.
Yeah.
So you
I'm.
have standard rooms. It's warm. The only thing is for Corwin, there are no fireplaces. Your room does come with, and if you'd like to pay extra, 5 copper, you can get enough oil to last the night.
Corwin will be fine. He can stay home with me.
Okay, so Corwin's going to your house.
Yeah.
So your parents finally said, "Oh my God, he's not fake. He's not imaginary."
But he is a full elf.
Gotcha. So that two of you are staying here, and the other two are going oot and a boot.
Yep. Mind you, we
Yep.
get up really early.
Okay, works for me.
because
I'm
my
just waiting for a dog to come inside. He's not coming
parents
inside.
always get up early.
All right. That's fine. Well, you're used to going fishing, so I'd say you want to get up, before the sun comes out, but that never happens. So, all right. So you bed down for the night. You are in comfortable standard beds.
Yep.
The overnight includes the breakfast of, again, it's going to be some form of fishy, oily broth stew for breakfast.
Yeah.
There
Everything's
isn't
fish
any.
flavored, isn't it?
There isn't going to be any bread, but they might have some, maybe rice or something millety, just to add some fiber to your diet. And when it comes to drinks, I mean, it's just gonna be your choices are pretty much water or ale. So
I changed my
Definitely
fish to
ale.
taste like garlic bread.
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. Prestidigitation. Garlic bread.
All right, that's right.
That works.
Tastes like grape.
Grape. Yeah, so you don't realize that really tastes like grape. Garlic bread.
So what
You put the
Those are the worst
pronunciation on
curses.
prestidigitation in slightly the wrong spot.
put it on
You got-
autocast.
You got grape jelly sandwich bread instead of garlic bread.
Tasted fish.
It's
All right.
better than fish.
So you get up. You get packed. Whatever you're packing. Do you need anything else, Finnick? Do you need anything from here? Bacon or Corwin or Howler?
This town doesn't have much to show.
It does
Yeah.
not have much
You
to
guys-
show.
Unless you
It-
guys want some more fish, that's about all we got here.
Lots of fish.
Yeah. All different kinds. The ocean does have a bounty.
Well, I've got to imagine to some extent there's got to. I mean, if we're going city to city, there's got to be some premium products that are considered maybe as a export of where we're at currently of Bremen in. Was it Torga, something like that?
You are correct.
So like what would Targos consider as a something Targos wouldn't have?
Or Bryn Shand
Or even
or
Bryn Shandir or wherever.
Shandir. Yeah, or
Um,
Bryn Shadar. What would be something that like one of those places wouldn't have a lot of access to?
It would probably be more something that's Bremen-esque. So let's say it is a dish, maybe.
Mhm.
Resources wise, it's the main city. It gets them all.
Okay.
So it would be maybe, fish dish that is
It's a
only made.
sizable city too, Brent
in Bremen?
Shadar is.
So if you want to ask Finnick, he might know that
Sure.
either Cora or maybe some of the other
It's
the other
Like,
taverns.
is there like a certain salted cod or something like that that you can
There might
only-
also be this sounds really gross, a fish oil ale of some sort that's delicacy that's made only here.
it's the fish wine. How many times do I have
It's
to tell you?
It is the
It's
equivalent
amazing.
of
That is its home world.
well, so yeah, just the thought is can we
You
buy, like,
could
5
you-
gold worth of this and then maybe sell it for
you
8
you
gold's
could
worth over here or something like that?
you could. Are you being
Legitimately could.
are you being entrepreneurial, or are you going to go up to the in person and say, hey, do you have any deliveries that you need taken?
Ooh,
You know what I
that
mean?
actually isn't. Yeah, that might actually be a better idea. Of hey, we're going that way already.
Exactly. It gives you an
Uh-oh.
in literally. I mean, okay, this isn't the Hunger Games where you get stopped at the Gestapo checkpoints.
No. But
Why are you going south?
It is always good to have a reason to be somewhere that is different
Yeah.
from the reason
So,
you want people knowing you're there.
and again, Finnick would know the towns, and as you get further east,
Mhm.
Even Howler and even Bacon would know the area, the this, the that. Bacon would be like, oh my god, there was this wonderful jelly from blah 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 type thing. I've even eaten that.
Do jellies work here, or are they just frozen?
They're frozen.
I've got to think. There's a lot of like popsicles have got to be big around here.
Mm.
No, it's too
Actually,
cold
no, they're
for
not. Yeah, they actually get you too cold. You never consume something that's too cold.
People always want cold stuff no matter where they are, though. I mean,
No, ice
I
cream.
live with a
Ice cream.
person that wants ice cream in the middle of winter.
Forget the adventure. We are starting up a Ben and Jerry's franchise.
Exactly. So,
I'll take the chunky monkey.
you guys can choose what you'd like to bring. You can either bring some form of a delicacy dish, which isn't kept in a crock, but it is wrapped up inside, linen type wrappings. And say you're each can carry, I don't know, because you don't want to like carry a barrel full of stuff, but you're not taking a dog sled, correct?
How much do they
Unless you have
cost?
some dogs.
Mhm.
A dog sled is 20 gold pieces, and the
How much can it-
wolf, the wolf that the dog part of it, the wolf is actually 50 gold pieces.
Still too
I
expensive.
mean,
it's gonna
it could work for
I mean, we could
50
afford
days to do it.
part of it. I got like 20 gold. But what do we have
Again,
to
you
pull
guys
it?
are looking
I
for
mean, what will a dog sled pull though? Like
300 pounds.
so, the Goliath.
Thanks.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you each carry 5
Goliath?
bottles of their ale. Carry a Goliath now. Carry 5 bottles of the Brennan ale or whatever, and